totally planned. Definitely not another stupid Junkrat death to add to a rather lengthy list. I guess since we're on the topic of stupid deaths, it's only fitting that but after falling for it a few times, you will train yourself not to walk over Junkrat's fresh corpse. The steel trap is another gadget you have at your dispense. Junkrat simply drops a bear trap in front of him, and anybody who steps in it takes 80 damage and gets locked for 3 seconds. They can't use abilities, but they can still shoot. However, they are almost certainly dead meat to anybody looking at them, since they won't be able to dodge anything. If you're busy in combat, you can simply drop it and hope somebody stumbles upon it in the heat of battle. Since it's on a low cooldown of 10 seconds, you can just casually throw it down. Or you can tactically place it behind a corner and hope somebody unknowingly treads along it, since it's slightly hidden for them and they can only see the teeth. And lastly, the Riptire, the ultimate that can terrifyingly climb walls, so make sure you steer this around a sneaky path on some distracted enemies if you want to land a big catch. The Riptire has 100 health, so it is prone to the enemy's fire. However, if you get close enough and detonate it, it will deal up to 600 damage, knocking out the base HP of any character in the whole game. And it has a pretty big radius, so for a squishy, just get yourself within 10 meters and pop it. But if you want to knock out a tank from full to zero, try and guide that tire right underneath them for maximum damage. Junkrat is a very fun and hilarious character. If you like the ambient sounds of beeps, dings, and car alarms, then our giggly Australian friend here has got you covered. Now, I'd like to end the video on a dignified note with a clean kill on this Rhino. These stupid deaths. Oh, victory? Yeah, sure. Okay, that'll do. I'll take it. No. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now. Get me out of here.